Welcome. This is a special edition of our little show here of Survivor Series, where we're going to talk about previewing our predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view this Sunday. Joining with me is Kevin. We got G, Randy, and Jimbo. So let's kick it off with what made us choose wrestling. Why do we watch it? I think that's something that brought us together as fans. For me, anyone...
Well, I got into wrestling 1996. It was the Bret Hart versus HBK build to WrestleMania. A little after that Survivor Series of 95, Royal Rumble, that whole build from Rumble to WrestleMania just caught my attention. I've been a wrestling fan ever since. What about you guys?
What about you, Kev?
I would say you don't really choose to be a wrestling fan. It kind of chooses you. I think we all kind of probably grow up in a household where, weekend afternoon and you're watching wrestling just because it's on, and you just learn to love it. But I've been watching wrestling my whole life. I don't have a specific event probably, but as long as I can remember. So
I was always on Saturday weekends.
Always on.
G?
Probably been watching wrestling since the mid-'80s. It was always on in our grandmother's house. Her brother always watched wrestling.
Bruno Sammartino?
Yeah, way back then. Early Hogan, all that good stuff. Then, it kind of was a time period where we didn't watch it, and then we went back when Raw started. I remember that. USA Network. Was it the USA Network back then? Yeah. That's when we kind of got back into it again, and then we stopped watching it a little bit, and then we went back probably when WCW was starting to build up, when they were, the NWO, Goldberg, all that, and we've been watching it pretty much ever since.
Yeah, I would probably second that. I've always watched it on weekends, Saturday main event or Saturday Superstars. Then eventually went on to the cable, Monday Night Raw. Very first episode, I remember watching that as a kid. Moving on to Nitro. And then back and forth with the Monday Night Wars, and stuck with it through the highs and the lows. There's definitely been lows. A lot of lows. And I don't know why I still watch it, but like Kev said, it chooses you as a fan.
Yeah, man, the lows are entertaining in their own way. So
it is. We're couch critiquers. Randy, what about you? Do you remember a first wrestler that you saw that made you go into wrestling, become a fan?
Definitely, that Saturday morning show they used to have. Watching that, you see a lot of guys like Mr. Perfect and Ted DiBiase.
Oh, the 80s, yeah.
And Giant
Golden
Gonzalez.
Giant Gonzalez.
Just stuff like that. You see guys.
The gimmicks.
Yeah, so the gimmicks.
That was mid-'80s, later 80s.
Yeah.
88.
I think my favorite gimmick as a kid was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh,
By far. For some reason, I thought he was the most entertaining, followed by Piper.
Speaking of 88, I'm the youngest one here. I was born in 88. So, I gotta say, I remember watching Yokozuna. It was in a casket match. I remember actually thinking Yokozuna was dead as a kid. So that was
That was a crazy.
I remember
match.
that was...
Was that a Survivor Series? Maybe.
that was Chuck Norris was actually there. Chuck Norris spun kicked Jeff Jarrett right in the stomach.
Double J. I think that when Piper was on the Piper's Pit, I forgot who jumped him. But it was the first time I ever saw blood when I was a kid. And I thought Piper was dead.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, they just killed Roddy Piper. And he was gone for months after that and then eventually came back. But I remember seeing that. I was like, this is real.
One of the first things I saw that I thought was really real was when Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty through the window. When he turned on him, the Rockers.
My favorite tag team when I was a child.
That I was
Bruins.
like, oh my god, this shit's real.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain Heenan announces, "Oh my God, he tried to jump through the window, that coward."
But yeah, we're going to just go around and talk about, since it's Survivor Series weekend coming up, and give you a quick rundown and predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view.
I think one thing with this year is it doesn't feel like a chore to watch. I kind of want to see. They put a lot of time trying to hype the Survivor Series, especially with the brand split. I really think this is probably one of the most entertaining times for a actual Survivor Series match. Maybe besides the Authority versus Cena and Dolph Ziggler that one year where Sting debuted. which still on paper wasn't the biggest thing. It ended up delivering, but like on paper beforehand, this is one of the better Survivor Series.
They have to, because now with like Jimmy said, with the brand split, like this is one of the big 4 pay-per-views: Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And this is the first one of the brand split, so they have to pull all stops for this Sunday.
Well, not only a few years ago, they were actually thinking about doing away with the Survivor Series concept.
I don't know
it's good.
why.
It's good that they're bringing it. So, starting off, we got Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto for the cruiserweight belt.
He should say the stipulation: if Kalisto wins, who's
Brings
on
the title.
SmackDown, brings the division
Big stipulation.
Yeah.
to SmackDown.
And that stipulation actually,
Just as something that could happen, though.
that stipulation has actually formed my basis for how
The
I
result?
think, how I think that match will go.
Well, not to kind of cut away from that, but also the match right after that, the Intercontinental title, also has that same stipulation in a way. So I have a feeling one of these titles is going to switch shows.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
before we jump to the Intercontinental, what we got for Cruiserweight, Kev? What's your prediction?
Well, I was gonna say I think probably going to SmackDown just for the fact they got the new show coming, 205 Live, follows SmackDown, and that makes it kind of obvious, I think. But
And they said the whole division will go to SmackDown if
Right.
Kalisto wins. So I think we're all on board that.
Brian Kendrick that fast now, huh?
It's weird, but I think Kalisto might take it. I mean, the guy can go. He's a good wrestler, so I think regardless, it's going to be an entertaining match. They both actually use a very similar move. The sliced bread number 2 that Kendrick uses is kind of the Salito del Sol that Kalisto uses. So I wonder if we'll see any cool little sequences there.
And I think they'll give it to Kalisto just because he's got the seniority and he's been there for a while.
Well, it's,
He
he-
deserves a title.
He defended the title against Ryback at WrestleMania in the pre-show, so I mean WWE is behind him at least in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a curveball here. I'm going to say it ends in a either a double countout or no contest.
Good old fast and
And-
dusty finish.
And then you're going to have the 205 Live strictly for the network. I think that since there won't be a clear-cut winner, they're going to move it to network only for cruiserweights.
So the belt will be gone. From
So it's
both
kind of in
shows.
between the
Yeah.
fine print of who won that.
I don't think they're taking the title off Kendrick that quick. No way.
Good point.
Good point. Yeah.
the show still kind of leans to SmackDown though if they got it on after SmackDown. You know what I'm saying?
Is that where it's going?
That's right after
Yeah,
SmackDown.
it's
yeah.
right after
Shit,
SmackDown.
Kalisto's winning. He's winning.
So pretty much we're all thinking Kalisto's going to win, and we're thinking it's foreshadowed.
I think Kalisto's
Absolutely.
going to win.
Foreshadow for
Absolutely.
Kalisto. Round vote.
Absolutely.
Here.
Yep.
Hey,
But moving along from the Cruiserweight title, next brings us the Intercontinental title with The Miz champion on SmackDown versus Sami Zayn on Raw. This is a fascinating match. Miz just beat Dolph Ziggler on SmackDown for the title this past Tuesday, so Ziggler's out of the match. Miz is now champion. They've been building up something with The Miz. I think Miz is going to retain.
Yeah.
I think Miz is on a hot streak. I think he's the best he's ever been in the last 10 years. I mean, the guy's throwing excellent promos, excellent matches. People say it's boring. I think it's entertaining as hell. And his wife is hot as hell.
some good eye candy.
But that's my opinion. Jimmy, what do you got?
I don't know. I was kind of, believe it or not, a little excited for Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. Yeah, I'm a little bit more happy that Miz has a spot. I'm surprised he didn't find his way on the Team SmackDown. But I don't know. I can see Sami Zayn. Like I said, I think they want to move the titles around. It's a weird stipulation. I could actually like that dusty finish that you were talking about with the Cruiserweight match, and then that kind of sets up the spot where the Intercontinental title could actually switch. You have Miz lose it. Maybe he can find another way to regain it, and now he's really close to Chris Jericho for the all-time Intercontinental title wins. I think it's kind of a pick'em fight. You kind of have to see. I'm more split between that match than probably the Cruiserweight match.
Miz just wins the title, then he loses it 5 days later.
It's hard. It's weird that they did that. Maybe Dolph Ziggler finds a way to weasel himself in that match because
that's
he's
a
not
good
anything
point.
involved, so he could screw the Miz over. But I mean, do they really want to keep that Miz Dolph Ziggler feud going?
That's an excellent point. Randy, any opinions on Miz, Sami Zayn?
I have been noticing that both these guys have been getting a pretty good push. So they definitely want one of them to be the champ.
So it's a good match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, definitely is.
It's like kind of like the classics with like Perfect and
Well, that's what they were talking about on SmackDown. The Miz and Dolph Ziggler said they had like a counter fest. Like they were actually like
Yeah.
harping back to those old school Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect matches. Like
excellent wrestling.
That's what Intercontinental's all about.
So-
it's more like a wrestling.
the wrestling based guys. So hopefully he can do something with it. I'd like to see Miz get brought back up to a Universal title or a heavyweight title division again. I think he definitely deserves it and can hold his own in that division. But I'm excited for that match. Good match.
Gee, what we got?
That is a hard one to call. Like, I have no idea. I want to say Sami Zayn, just because they seem like they were been pushing him lately. But I wouldn't be shocked if Miz retained it. No way.
Retained it, kept it on SmackDown.
Yeah. It seems like a SmackDown type belt also. Kev?
Here's the thing. Personally, I want Zayn to win just because I like Sami Zayn. Right? I'm a Sami Zayn guy. I play Sami Zayn in our league. Champion, double champion.
Double champion. Intercontinental.
But that said, Miz has been a highlight of WWE for at least a year now. And I think I was pissed when he lost the title to Ziggler. I don't think Ziggler deserves that title. So I would be all for Miz retaining against Zayn, keeping the belt on SmackDown. I kind of hope that's the way it goes.
Could you see possibly a trade for Sami Zayn for The Miz, switch brands before the pay-per-view, and then Zayn beating The Miz and keeping the title on SmackDown?
I have a feeling something like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be before. It might be after.
I don't think they would trade
They
a
wouldn't
champ.
trade it after, but there could be some kind of trickery going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think you're going to see either a title exchange or some type of trade between the two wrestlers, in my opinion. I think something like that.
Or maybe they trade the Cruiserweight champion for the Intercontinental champion, depending on who wins both of those matches.
That's a nice observation.
Well, they're going to be showing the GMs in the backstage constantly, so there's a chance where something early could happen. And if you look at it, those matches, just think of it now, is Raw versus SmackDown. Both those matches. I just looking at that now are actually Raw versus SmackDown matches because you have a Raw guy versus SmackDown guy. So that kind of counts to that tally, which they're going to be keeping all night. So that's definitely something that could happen. They could do a backstage segment and maybe run a little promo or something with that.
A little switcheroo. Won't hurt nobody. Well, now we move on from the single titles to actually the traditional Survivor Series matches. First one on the list, we have the 10-on-10 tag team elimination match, which this match is going to be a cluster F. Team Raw, that consists of the captains The New Day, The Club, Sheamus and Cesaro, Enzo and Cass, and the Shining Stars for some reason, versus Team SmackDown, Slater and Rhino, the champs, for the Hype Bros, American Alpha, Usos, and Breezango, which, by the way, has a new gimmick as the Renacobs, or Fashion Police. And it is the funniest thing you could watch on television right now, in my opinion.
Fandango is going to have a very entertaining spot.
Of course.
There's no way every Royal Rumble or every Battle Royal at the WrestleMania always finds a way to have a highlight. I think that's something that's foregone conclusion that's going to happen.
I don't think we're going to talk about each team
Well,
being
here.
eliminated.
Here, let's do that now. Okay, Shining Stars. Let's cross them off the list. Jobbers.
They're first.
I think Breezango is next.
Yeah, they're gonna have a spot. You got them off.
Usos are gone.
You think Usos are gonna be one of the next teams kind of eliminated?
I got the Hype Bros being.
Hype Bros before the
I'll cross them
Before
out.
the-
Yeah, I think Usos will make an
I
appearance.
think they like the Hype Bros, man.
Really?
I hate them, but I think the writers, I think they love them.
So, okay, you could do that. So right now, if you see that, you have 3 teams off Team SmackDown and just 1 team off Team Raw.
Sheamus and Cesaro are gone.
You think they'll go slightly early? Now,
Maybe
what
a
happens?
few
You think
years.
if one guy gets pinned, the team's
Yes.
gone? Okay.
Is it okay?
I think that's
That
how
is
it's going to
it.
work.
That's how it
So we'll
works.
say Sheamus and Cesaro are making it. So you got New Day, The Club, and Enzo, Slater, Rhino, and American Alpha.
So now it gets more
I
interesting.
mean, now this is where it breaks down. It starts to be a little bit more of a clusterfuck. You actually get to see some tag work. Club, they're not pushing. Is this the time where they try to get the club a little bit more over? I think New Day could lose early, maybe show a little dissension. I don't see them being a final team in this.
No?
I say they will be a final team, and I have Slater and Rhino being out early, the SmackDown champions.
I could see that. I'll second that. I'll cross off on my
the
list.
Same thing. I think they're going to highlight American Alpha because Rhino and Slater can afford to lose this match.
Mm-hmm.
The title's not on the line.
Same with New Day.
They can take the L.
I think here's an interesting. What are the last 2 teams on each side?
One of each.
One on each. Who do you have as the last 2 teams?
I have Enzo and Cass
If it comes down to that.
and American Alpha. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking American Alpha.
I don't think it'll come down to the last team. I think I have Team Raw going over with Club and Enzo. Just looking at it right now as the two last teams.
Teamwork, though. They're not going to work together.
That's the thing.
They're going to fucking...
They're gonna stab Enzo and Cass in the back because they even said it in a promo.
Ooh, that's
We will
true.
stab
They
any
didn't-
one of you in the
They
back.
didn't care at all.
I see American Alpha mounting a comeback, eliminating almost like a 4-on-1 situation, but yet it being teams, so 4 teams versus 1 team. American Alpha staging that comeback, then losing to... I think you see Enzo Cass or the Club going over. I think Club really needs that big win.
I agree with the club needing the big win, but I think American Alpha pins the New Day
Yeah.
for the last spot. Like they're gonna do that underdog 3 teams against 1 team. Enzo,
And Alpha takes it the whole way.
yeah, I got Enzo and Cass being screwed by the club. That's how they're gonna get eliminated.
What about you, Kevin?
I don't really have anything to add to that, but I would say I think that's the perfect way to do it.
I
If I was going to book it, I want AA to go over because I think they need it.
They need it. Yep. And I think the club is just going to eliminate themselves. I think they're just going to screw Enzo and Cass and walk to the back, saying we don't need this.
Yeah, I actually agree.
They're in the middle of a few of them, so it definitely makes sense.
But you got Team Raw winning?
I have Team Raw, but I want American Alpha to be that sole survivor tag team.
So we have 1 Team Raw. G, what do you got? What team?
I'm gonna say American Alpha.
American Alpha's Team SmackDown?
Takes it as a sole
Jeff?
survivors.
Yep.
Either them or
Hopefully.
Enzo and Cass.
I'm hoping for SmackDown.
Those are my 2.
And I think Team SmackDown is going to take this with American Alpha picking up the W. All right, so there you have it. I guarantee you're going to see some crazy spots, and it's going to be a cluster.
It is
I can see it a little bit.
10 on 10.
Yeah.
Speaking of clusters, so that we move on to the 5-on-5 piss break. I mean, 5-on-5 women's elimination match. What's the rundown on that one?
Let's see. We got Team Raw consists of Charlotte, the champion, Bailey, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks.
Team Raw, let's not continue.
Yeah. And Team SmackDown with the captain Bella leading the Bella Army with Nikki Bella.
To be fair, though, there is going to be some interesting matchups. You have Charlotte, who's I'm pretty sure has not been pinned on pay-per-view yet.
Nope.
You have Nia Jax, who hasn't been really beat up at all on TV. You got Sasha Banks and Bailey are huge favorites. And I think you got Team Raw. I would
SmackDown
have
is
to
what?
say, but-
Nikki Bella.
Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Carmella.
Raw seems like the stronger team.
Yeah.
Raw is definitely the stronger team. I think you're gonna have 3. I think you're gonna have Charlotte, Bailey, and Sasha Banks remaining against
And
Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I
agree.
think you'll see that.
Not only would I say that Raw is a stronger team, but I think SmackDown, that team has more bad blood currently
Yeah,
going on
absolutely.
as well. So it's,
Yeah.
There'll be a little
right.
dissension. I think that women on SmackDown are better than the women of Raw, but
Really?
they push the women of Raw harder than the women of SmackDown. If that made any sense.
I do like Alexa Bliss.
If John Cena's left any deposits in Nikki Bella and put a little testosterone in her, there's a good chance you could have that Cena blood flow going and
Cena blood.
just no-selling some stuff and staging that ultimate comeback, not selling anything. But that's not happening. I think you got Team Raw taking
I think,
this
yeah, Team Raw. I think.
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
10
and I think
times.
actually Nikki Bella might be the last one standing for Team SmackDown since
Do that
Total Divas
valiant.
Live.
I hope.
I could see that being true, but it's awful.
I hope not.
Come on.
I think Naomi, or not Naomi, I think Carmella and Alexa Bliss is going to either walk out on their team or screw a teammate over. You might see Natalia, who's the mascot on the side, might jump in.
Yeah, cost somebody the match.
Yeah.
Natty SmackDown, right?
Natty SmackDown.
Yeah, that team's fucked.
Yeah.
Nothing good's coming of that.
So who wins?
I think we have Team Raw, and I think I have Charlotte picking up the win.
Can there only be one winner?
No, you can have 5 of 5. Nobody gets eliminated.
elimination, right? It's-
It's
Elimination. yep.
elimination, but you could be 5 against
So there could be
1.
like 3 Raw people left.
Probably
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have Team SmackDown winning the tag match, and if the women match, they're going to be obviously before that 5-on-5 men's match. You would think they're going to have to split that. One Raw's going to have to win one of them. SmackDown's going to have to win the other. So
I think Team Raw will picking up the women.
I would have Sasha and Bailey, the 2 survivors of Team Raw. That's the way I would finish that.
I like that, but I think you do that with Bailey and Flair because I think that's your WrestleMania match. So that might be a little way to tie that in. Bailey and Flair are the sole survivors. But I mean,
That's true.
Who do they beat? Who's the last woman on SmackDown?
I like that. Becky Lynch being the champ or Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But Nia Jax also, they've been like making her a monster.
Yeah, she's gonna have a
I'm
count.
not like most girls.
Look, she got hit in the face with what was that?
Tissue boxes.
Yeah, like
The backstage
Man.
segment.
she lost all intimidation factor.
Yeah.
She's done.
I think Alicia.
Well,
Fox
yeah,
should be
that's
out
what they were saying about the one spot when she ran at the guardrail and the other girl moved out of the way. They said it was like not timed at all, and she just looked like an oaf
Yeah.
running through
She
it.
does everything. She looks like an oaf in everything she does.
But
She's
she's
Female Braun Strowman.
I was just say Khali. Strowman, let's not discredit.
Yeah, let's
Strowman.
not. Yeah,
But
I like that.
One thing
He
for
does his
fair
own.
though is Nia Jax could kick all our asses.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that
At the
is
same
for
time.
sure.
Well, she could lift me up and throw me like across the room.
She
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is wrestling. This is where you play to other aspects. All right, let's not get into that. But anyway,
So it's a fair Team Raw.
Yeah, I see Team Raw.
yeah, Team Raw.
All
Team
right.
Raw's just a stronger team.
They just, on paper, they look like way stronger.
Yeah. So now we have the 5-on-5 traditional men's elimination match where Team Raw, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins vs. SmackDown, AJ Styles, Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon with James Ellsworth as the mascot for Team SmackDown.
First, we should mention Baron Corbin being taken out of this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he might show up?
No.
Well, there's a lot of people that might make appearances. First off, so this is the meat and potatoes of the pay-per-view, these last two matches. This is kind of the main part, but
Yeah.
you also have Undertaker showing up on SmackDown saying, if any of you guys lose or whatever, there'll be hell to pay.
There's no way Undertaker is coming on.
So, I mean,
Series.
my dream WrestleMania matches, I want Undertaker versus AJ Styles for that world title at WrestleMania. So let's see, maybe there could be some kind of casting of stones and maybe kind of foreshadowing what Taker's involvement is. But actually, to the match, what do you guys see happening, maybe?
Well, that's funny you mentioned Braun or
Taker.
No, Baron Corbin. Because I totally forgot about him. He's going to screw over Kalisto in the cruiserweight match. Because
Ah.
Kalisto is the one that took out Baron Corbin for this
That's a good
5-on-5.
point.
That's right.
And that's where the trade comes.
That's where the trade comes in.
Okay.
So it's a shame that they took Corbin out because I wanted to see Corbin versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
I think that would have
definitely.
been a freaking
That would've been
brawl.
awesome. Yeah.
Brawl and a half. But, all right, let's go. Who do we have being eliminated first out of the two teams? Because each team has some strong
A
members.
lot of strong people.
Yeah.
I'm going to say first person eliminated will be Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I can see that. Yeah.
Orton's
Chris
there
Jericho.
too, though.
Or I think Orton is later. I think they're pushing Orton. He's the legend killer. He's the veteran. I don't think he's getting out early.
No, I'm not saying get out. I'm saying he would help. Maybe.
Screw
help,
Bray Wyatt.
help, maybe keep him in there. Well, depending on what his alliance is.
He's getting along with Bray Wyatt, but he's not getting along with Luke Harper right now.
Who is not on the card.
Yeah.
I got Jericho taking the job first.
Yeah, Jericho getting
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got Jericho too.
He's going to put somebody on the list. He's going to freak out. Kim and Kevin Owens are going to have a little bit of dissension. I think they got to start teasing that a little bit.
So who's out on SmackDown first?
If you had to pick Bray Wyatt, I mean, they never get Bray Wyatt respect. He's like Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect.
I'd say
so.
Shane McMahon.
Well, that's interesting.
I was
He-
going to say Shane McMahon, but he's Shane McMahon. He wouldn't be there.
He was
I feel like they wouldn't put him in
I'm
there.
pretty sure, if memory serves me right, he was the first one out in the 2001 WCW versus WWE match. Pretty sure he was the first one that went out in that, so I could see that, but I hope Shane does a little bit. I mean, Shane
Here's-
could still go,
Here's
so.
the thing, though, is on SmackDown, Taker said he made a whole big deal about Shane being the one to take that spot. You know? So I don't know if they would do that. Realistically, I think Shane McMahon would be the one to go.
Shane first? Yeah, I can see that. Who do we have now to play devil's advocate? Who do we have surviving? What would be your ideal finish for this match? Is what I should
The
say.
last people there.
Yeah.
Styles Owens.
Yes,
Well,
Styles
just
Owens?
to help finish this, I think you got Randy not making it, like you said, Bray Wyatt.
Champions.
Yeah, I think they got to put the champions over. Braun, I can see getting counted out or something. I think he'll have a few spots, but he's not lasting. So right now you got Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and I don't see them doing the mismatch. I think they're going to keep it kind of even for this match. So I think it's going to come down to Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins versus AJ, Dean, and Shane. Right? Does pretty much anyone agree? Do you think anybody else has a chance to make it to the
No,
final?
I think if anything, it would be those guys: Owens, Reigns, Rollins, Styles, AJ, and maybe.
Ambrose.
Yeah, Styles AJ.
Ambrose Owens.
I mean, are we having clean finishes here? Or is this the match to have something? I mean, it's Survivor Series. Something's happening at Survivor Series.
Ambrose Owens
Shady.
Good, I think.
I think Ambrose is going to get eliminated by a distraction from little James Ellsworth.
Yeah, James Ellsworth has to be there. He's got to screw something
He's
up.
on the side. I think he's definitely going to screw something up. Maybe do a heel turn.
Yeah, you got to get him some more life out. They don't want that act to get stale.
I think he's going to cause Ambrose.
That could be interesting. You know what? I'm on board with that. I'm on board with
Or he
that.
might save the day somehow.
Well,
One or
let's
the
see
other.
today.
Yeah.
We
I think you can
are
expect.
the
I think you can
champions.
expect a 6 spot involving Ellsworth in that match. I think somehow.
I was gonna say
shield
Owens apron powerbomb.
I think-
James Ellsworth.
I think something's gonna happen. But see, here's my dilemma with this match: is I don't know who's gonna win.
It's hard to call. I think on paper, Raw.
It's not
is
obvious. That's why this
stronger.
pay-per-view is awesome.
Again.
This is on paper, it's Team Raw looks the most dominant. However, at the end of Raw this week, they made Team SmackDown retreat, giving me the assumption that they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Reigns is on one of these teams. He's on the Raw team, right?
He's on the Raw team.
Oh, Raw wins.
Raw wins. 'Cause,
I was saying there's no Cena, but
the,
Reigns is there.
the United States champion
Cena
who carries
2.0.
the title like a book bag. That Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Cena 2.0.
yeah, Reigns wins.
I could see, you
Reigns
know,
wins? Oh my
you have Kevin Owens getting eliminated.
I forgot about
You
I
have
see
Roman
Seth
Reigns.
Rollins winning, actually.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, they're the last two on SmackDown. That's happened. Kevin Owens going to get eliminated. Going to talk that crap to the mic or say something funny. He's going to have another one, but I think
Yeah.
it comes down to Reigns and Rollins.
Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
AJ and Shane kind of repping
Nah.
SmackDown 2-on-2 right here. Or,
I think.
I see AJ
Wait a
getting
minute.
eliminated, actually.
I just had a thought. The Shield, right?
Right.
You've got-
All of them in that
you've got
match.
Ambrose on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You've got Reigns and Rollins on Raw.
And you got Reigns.
AJ Styles. So maybe those are the last four.
Yeah.
And then they all turn and beat the shit out of AJ Styles.
Oh God, I hope not.
But
Just
no,
have
a heel turn on a heel.
reunion.
I'm
I don't think
thinking
they-
Roman Reigns is due for your heel turn, and he's not John Cena. They will turn Roman Reigns soon.
I've been waiting for that for months.
And I think it could work for his character. So you have
I think they should have done it months ago.
I got maybe Rusev. He's not on the pay-per-view. I think he's going to come down and cost maybe Roman this match.
Oh, yeah? They fought recently.
They did fight recently. Actually, Goldberg made Rusev look like a jobber.
it's Goldberg. It's
Yeah,
Goldberg.
slipped in everything, man.
But I have AJ Styles picking up the victory for Team SmackDown.
I'm
I'm going
liking-
with it.
I'm liking the
going with
Roman
it.
Reigns heel turn, and for a heel turn, you got to turn and get the heel to go over with AJ. I'm liking Team SmackDown with the Roman Reigns heel turn. You know what? I'm putting my finger on that button right now. I'm calling that.
We calling the heel turn.
I'm calling the Roman Reigns heel turn. I think with this little teasing of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, they can't go down. Hey man, we're beer drinking buddies again and do that for a year. Let's have the Shield turn. There's no need for a Shield reunion yet. Team SmackDown, I think, needs the win because Raw obviously is just the more highlighted show. Even though SmackDown's killing it every week, it seems like. I think SmackDown's the one that needs this spot.
Gee, who do you got winning?
I got Seth Rollins for Raw.
Seth Rollins
Getting
picking up the
final
victory.
pin, yeah. Probably actually over Dean Ambrose.
Interesting.
I say AJ's going to get out a little earlier.
All right,
Yeah.
Kev.
I mean, I'm completely torn. I'm thinking about all the possibilities. Like I said, Shield reunion, screw-overs, everything. Like Jim just had a good point with what he said. It's really tough to call.
It's very tough.
I'm probably gonna go with the Reigns team.
Two
because
SmackDown, two Raw.
realistically, I think Reigns.
Well, that's what Jimmy was saying, that this pay-per-view is very unpredictable when it comes to these certain matches. Because
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen,
Which makes him cool.
which makes them cool again.
Mhm.
All right, so now we move on to the main event. The matchup that's been, 12 years in the making?
2004, so yeah, 12 years.
We actually saw the first matchup at WrestleMania 20 at the Garden with Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, where we're pretty sure Brock Lesnar flipped us off, gave us the
We were
bird.
chanting "na na na na." He looked right at us. I'm pretty sure I started to run away because I thought he was looking at me. I said, "Oh my god, he looked at me."
Where we were sitting, we were not that far from the
Camera angle. You, see it on,
side.
you can't see camera side.
We stood up, the four of us that were there. We were the only ones standing, and we were pretty tall guys, and we just gave Brock the finger and said "F you" as loud as we could. And he looked at us. And if this man would have charged the audience, we were running for it.
Through a dory. Or
So speaking of that
yeah.
match, this is a rematch of WrestleMania 20, which is a universally panned match, if that is the term, where a lot of people just shit on that match and say it didn't deliver.
It's a bad match.
I think it was a weird setup. You had both those guys on their exit. You had Austin before even Goldberg and Lesnar lock up. You have people chanting for Austin. Austin looks at everybody. You have a sick Austin chant. Then everyone's chanting "na na na na." And this is before they even touch. And they lock up like a big man. They do this lock up in so many big man matches. And in this match, the fans just booed it because you have Goldberg, which was already kind of going into that match as not a good wrestler. And they see that lock up, bulls meet horn. They're two bulls. They meet up in stalemate. Okay, what's wrong with that? And the fans just booed. And that became a match almost in itself, being more fun to chant and go against the wrestlers than actually watch what they're doing. And now, 12 years later, can this match produce now?
The problem, it will produce, and I'm going to give my theories why. The first time they met at WrestleMania 20, you knew Brock Lesnar was leaving for the NFL, which, by the way, pissed every fan off in that building. And you knew Goldberg, after that match, he was done. I mean, they weren't doing anything
Well,
with
yeah,
him.
he made Santa's Sleigh, the horror movie. We knew that was going to take off.
So you knew that both these guys were in the match, that they were leaving, and no one cared. That's why no one cared about the match. And plus, you had Austin as the referee, which was the biggest mistake. Because Austin is super over. Everyone would just chant for his name.
Yeah.
But now you have Brock Lesnar turning into the Beast, the UFC champion. He comes back to WWE, wins the world title, is unstoppable at pay-per-views. I think his only loss was against the Taker at Hell in a Cell. And he didn't even tap out. He passed out, giving him the bird. I think you're not going to see lockups in this match. I think it's just going to be a brawl for all.
MMA based, I think.
I think you're right on that. And I have...
and
I was
Lesnar.
going to say I have Goldberg going to Suplex City, but I don't have a clear-cut victor in this match. I don't. I think this is going to end in no contest.
Well, I think with one thing with Lesnar doesn't give a lot of wrestlers respect. I think Lesnar is that cocky person that thinks he's better than a lot of people. With that said, I think Lesnar has a lot of respect for Goldberg. I think they're kind of friends. They've trained together before. And you can just see when they were like kind of laughing at each other. Same with Brock. I think Brock has a lot of respect for Taker when they did that laugh. I think Brock's going to let Goldberg work a lot more of his offense
I think
on
so.
Lesnar.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see actually Lesnar getting, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually selling moves, is that it? Or actually
Selling.
taking moves?
Yeah.
Being more comfortable selling and actually taking more of a beating. I think he's going to let Goldberg kind of potato him a little bit too and throw some punches and
You will see blood.
another match of
You will
blood.
see blood.
You think they're going to be like elbows? Like
Well, you look at Randy almost died at Smack on Survivor Series. Like, you talk about the PG era, that guy died in the ring. That was a faucet was open on Randy Orton's forehead at SummerSlam.
I think Lesnar bleeds easy too.
Yeah,
I think
he's got
The skin's like paper.
he just needs like one sharp elbow or something. He's gonna be open.
I agree. I think it's just going to turn into a freaking brawl for all.
So
your
so we're
predictions?
saying the match. We all think the match is gonna reduce. It's gonna be entertaining.
It has to.
What's your run time of the match roughly, and what's your finish?
Gee, you want to start?
All right, so runtime, I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna be that long. Maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes. I see Brock. I have like almost no doubt. Just
Winning
because-
clean?
Yeah, just because Brock is gonna be participating more, I think, in WWE. I think this was like a weird thing that happened. Like Goldberg was around just to promote the video game.
It's a weird thing you say. It's almost kind of like the storyline to the Rocky movie when Rocky came back and they did the video game simulation of Rocky versus the guy. Oh, and they did the what if, and it got a lot of buzz. And Rocky Balboa was like,
exactly right.
"Hey, let's do this."
Yeah, because I don't think Goldberg's planning on wrestling much. So why would they let Brock lose
After they invested so much time in him.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think Brock's gonna win.
Kev.
I'm gonna give it between 12 and 17 minutes.
Oh, my.
Go
Whoa.
go with the odd numbers here. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a brawl. Let's see. Goldberg won the first match, so right, he did, right?
Yeah.
So going with Lesnar because exactly that reason. Like Lesnar is their guy. Goldberg's gonna leave.
Yeah.
He already made it known. He cut his promo. He said you're last, so he's not sticking around. He's leaving. Lesnar, they can buy Lesnar still. He's gonna stick around. So
Yeah.
Jimmy.
What I want to see happen in a dream situation doesn't have to go more than 10 minutes. If you can just have that back and forth, freaking Japanese hard-style match where both these guys are really bringing in it, the fans are digging it. If Goldberg can just come just a little bit short to beating Brock Lesnar, Lesnar wins. I think that is the best way for both these guys to go over. But if this is Goldberg's swan song, his your last match, it's kind of hard. So, what I want to happen, if they can find a way to do some kind of weird finish to keep Goldberg around, that would be awesome. But I mean, I think this is his probably last match. This is a hard whole pay-per-view, almost top to bottom, to really pick your winners. There's so many possibilities. I'll take Lesnar, I guess. But I think the match is going to produce a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a snooze fest, hopefully.
What's your runtime?
Right around 10 minutes, I think.
I'm with you on the runtime. I have 10 minutes. No more than that. I think both guys will get gassed easily. Brock Lesnar actually looked out of shape on Raw when he took his shirt off. He looked a little flabby.
Goldberg looked good, though. Goldberg looked good beating those
I don't want
jobbers.
to cut you off on that. Goldberg sweats his ass off.
They both sweat. They both are sweating.
Personally, conspiracy theory. I think Goldberg is on cocaine.
Hey, he doesn't get tested.
Sweats his ass off. He jitters. He does a lot of weird things. Sniffs a little.
Yeah.
I think the match could go past 10 minutes just because I think both of those dudes, they have something to prove.
Yes.
They don't want to look, neither one wants to look inferior to the other one. They're two dudes who are they build their lives around looking really, really good, So.
And they're wrestlers, and that match at WrestleMania is panned as a bad match in history.
Yeah.
I think they have to try to make up for that match.
Good point.
They might be crawling and sweating and
Hey, rest
half dead,
Blood and sweat.
But I think they're gonna go longer than people expect them to.
Well, I have. Here's my theory. Goldberg's even said this in interviews in the past where they want him after Survivor Series. Vince McMahon wants him after the reaction he got, which blew the roof off, which they weren't expecting. They want to keep him. They want him at WrestleMania because WrestleMania, I think, is in San Antonio this year. They want to sell it out. They want to sell tickets, get the old guys. Goldberg has said he will not continue until he wrestles. He wants to see if he could still do it, if he can still go. With that said, I think Brock's going to eat a spear a couple times. I think he's going to eat the jackhammer. I have Goldberg pinning him. However, the ref will either be pulled out or knocked out.
Paul Heyman ringside.
So
Paul
you
Heyman
got-
is
got
in
Heyman
ringside.
there.
I think Goldberg's going to look really strong this match, but you got to give it to Brock Lesnar, who is their bread and butter when it comes to pay-per-views. You got to give it. There's no way Goldberg's walking out winner unless it's a no DQ. Will they do that as main event pay-per-view? WWE has done that in the past. The SummerSlam finish against Randy Orton was a little iffy to a TKO stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
So, could we see a no contest? Do the MMA style? Maybe. I don't know.
Will Taker get involved in that match?
Yeah, you guys have any little screw jobs in this pay-per-view? Or
I wasn't thinking about that.
Oh my god. Taker get involved?
That could be a WrestleMania match. Triple threat right there. WrestleMania.
Goldberg,
That'd be
Taker,
cool, actually, yeah.
Brock. I think someone's returning. I just don't know who. And I think that's going to set up Mania for sure.
who do you got that's on like...
Kurt Angle.
You got Angle.
I don't know. They won't. I don't think WWE will do Kurt
Angle, The Rock.
I think Angle is going to be the poster boy for
Who
next
else?
year's video game.
Kurt Angle's a broken man.
No way. He's still on the indies. He's clean. He's sober.
Is he
Man,
clean now?
His
Yeah,
body
he's on
is
drugs.
done. What do you know about his body, though? He's broken.
His body is broken, but if you're doing that part-time schedule against...
He won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck.
Man, that was 96.
I think someone's returning. They're doing something big.
Yeah,
But-
you can see with this much hype into Survivor Series on paper,
Yeah.
they have to have something behind the curtain,
Yep.
as they say, also planned for this pay-per-view.
Well,
We all kind of agree, though. Probably Brock Lesnar.
I think
Lesnar's
Brock
gonna
is
take
going
this.
over. That's our rundown of Survivor Series 2016.
So we're all thinking it's going to be a pretty good card, though, right?
I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be one of the best pay-per-views. I was skeptical, but over the last build for the last few weeks, I think WWE's finally taking a step in the right direction.
I know at first you didn't like the whole Brock Lesnar Goldberg main event, but
No.
you're into it now?
I am, only because I think they're going to pull all stops. I think it's not going to be a traditional wrestling match.
It's a spectacle. You have to see what happens.
I think it's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
I think they're going to turn, like Jimmy said, into an MMA style battle where someone will return, is my guess. They have to.
Yeah, like you said earlier, this is one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year, so
Yeah.
some cool.
Big Four.
It's going to have to happen.
It's the brand coming together after the split. I think they need to do something that sticks out. They can't just have a clear-cut winner. It's something that needs to be buzzworthy for the next day to talk about. So, yeah.
Well, I'm pumped. If anybody's listened to this, by all means, send some messages, and if you guys like it, we'll do a review. So,
Yeah, send us
Anybody out there?
your predictions.
yeah, send us predictions.
Whatever.
What you guys think?
If you disagree with us, let us know.
Think Jim sounds like an idiot? By all means, let me know.
Yes,
So,
please.
so.
Send them write our comments. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us for this special edition of Survivor Series preview. And until next time, adios.
Later.